I love is that over the years I have seen many women who I started out mentoring, and they're achieving so much in their careers, and it just makes me incredibly proud. I see myself as an advocate for change. My specialist area is immigration, predominantly business immigration. I have been in practice for around 22 years. I originally started out doing asylum. I was very passionate about representing people at the tribunals. There were so many stories of injustice, and again, when I started out, you didn't have the accreditation system that you have now at the Law Society. So unfortunately, there were many immigration practitioners who purported to know what they was doing, but back then they didn't really. And so it was an area that, and continues to be one that I was incredibly passionate about, and I wanted to make sure that people were being properly represented. In my sort of teenage years, I think, when I was probably about 11 or 12 years old, that I wanted to be a lawyer. I remember growing up and living in Peckham. At that time, there were, my elder sister, she would often get attacked, and it was purely because she was black. My granddad got attacked by some National Front supporters, and it was just all horrible. It was just horrible. And then with the riots were truly based on the fact that as black people living in this country, all that used to happen was you were always stopped. You were always stopped for no reason by the police. And it was just such a daily occurrence. So growing up with so much injustice, I thought to myself, the only way I can do anything about this is becoming a lawyer. And I thought, you know what, I'm just going to really try, because otherwise, if I don't get in the system, then I'm not going to be able to help anyone. I'm just simply not. I would just be watching the TV, watching the news, and seeing so much damage being done to black people in that community in South London, because it was just constant. And I think the pivotal moment for me was literally with the Brixton riots, and I think that was absolutely the moment when I thought to myself, as much as I didn't think I was particularly bright or overly intelligent, I thought, you know what, this is the only way I can help, to be honest. I have to fight the system from within. What I'd like to see emphasised by future generations is really, I guess, the obvious one, right? Which is diversity. And I know that probably might sound like a bit of a cop-out, right? But we're now in 2022, and there are not enough people of colour in the profession, right? So I know that statistically there are more women, I believe, but diversity. And I will say that until I can see real change. And I do think diversity will benefit the legal profession. I did an internship in the US and worked for an organisation called the South Carolina Public Defender's Office. And at that time, there were disproportionately an amount of black men, predominantly, who had been put on death row and been wrongly convicted. So at the time, I was very passionate about that. And so I got an internship to work, like I say, in South Carolina. And during that time, we also went on death row and took instructions from the clients who were on there. So that's a time that was just really important to me. And I even still at home have these coasters that one of the guys on death row made for me. And so that was a very important time for me, and that's why I share that photo. So the second photo is of my old lecturer, and he is called Peter Hodgkinson. His photo is very important to me because as an individual, I think he was someone who was just really influential with my career. I went to the University of Westminster, but at the time I didn't have all the appropriate grades to get in onto the law degree. He was the reason why I was able to do the law degree at Westminster. I didn't qualify for like I say, for the actual entrance qualifications, but after speaking to him and convincing him that I should be on the law degree, he accepted me. And throughout the time when I was doing my law degree at Westminster, he was just a very important person to me and was just really special because he was very encouraging and he was incredibly supportive. The third photo, which was really important to me, was taken again probably in my mid-20s when I was in Brussels. I went to visit the European Parliament because at that time it was sort of piquing my interest into immigration and all of the different parts, if you like. So European law is, like, at the time, was a huge part of immigration. And I remember having a visit to the European Parliament, and I just thought it was absolutely incredible at the time. And I believe that I just really wanted to be involved, to understand the mechanics between European law and UK law. I think the next generation, they have so much resources at their fingertips. When I was coming in the profession, there wasn't mobile phones, there wasn't social media, there wasn't all this access to stuff. If I wanted to reach out to anyone influential or somebody and just speak to them, I'd have to kind of go to the library or write them a letter. Be adaptable to the situations that you're in, but don't compromise who you are at your core. I believe in being authentic.